the thing with Maoism is that Maoism simply isn't a philosophy that can be considered to be within the bounds of reason, and I believe that this picture actually empirically proves what I just said. I mean, what the hell is this? Seriously, I don't know what is this. Children sitting on a giant fish, but those are all the Great Leap Forward posters that envision this Chinese utopia that will allegedly happen after the Great Leap Forward, but instead of a utopia, we got 38 million people that died. That is 6% of the Chinese population in the late 1950s, according to Jung Chang. And one thing that's actually very scary about Maoism is that Mao in fact did want world domination. He famously said, "One day we will set up the Earth Control Committee." And he also said that once the Great Leap Forward works, China will have huge ships and they will finally be able to conquer Japan and the Philippines. And then he proceeded to say there will be no peace in the Pacific until we control it. And those are all very psychotic quotes that actually remind me of Hitler way more than they remind me of Stalin. And don't get me wrong, Stalin did also attack other countries, but controlling the entire Pacific, now that's truly crazy. That actually reminds me of Hitler. And as I already said, Stalin never spoke of attacking West Germany, of waging an offensive war against West Germany, while Mao still wanted his vengeance against the Japanese Empire. And it turns out he truly did want to control the world. He truly was that psychotic and evil. And we as humanity should be grateful that his Great Leap Forward actually didn't succeed. Unlike the Stalin's program of development and rapid industrialization, the Great Leap Forward not only killed many people, but also it never really produced the economic results that Mao wanted, unlike the results that the Soviets actually achieved. Well, Mao, he said, we will be a pig-growing nation and we will profit immensely from pig meat. But what Mao forgot is that you also need to have a lot of food to give to your pigs if you are going to be a pig-growing nation. And this fiasco resulted in 50% of all the pigs in China dying. Then his campaign against the sparrows. The guy ordered the Chinese people to slaughter all the sparrows, but what then happened is the parasites that were previously eaten by sparrows just started to eat grain at rapid rates, and he begged Khrushchev to send him sparrows. And this fiasco also damaged the Chinese economy. Then his idea that steel should be made in furnaces that are located in the backyards of peasants, and not in actually highly developed and professional factories. No, he said, I'm anti-bureaucracy and therefore we should produce steel and iron in a decentralized manner. Well, what did this create? A bunch of exploding furnaces and tanks that even couldn't actually drive straight, and helicopters that just fell from the sky. And one of his brilliant ideas was to turn this land you see here, the Yellow Earth Plateau, into fertile land. And he ordered the peasants to dig up this giant canal that would transport water into this territory. But as if you know anything about biology or earth or agriculture, you probably can guess how his efforts manifested in reality. A bunch of peasants that died from exhaustion, and nothing essentially happened. I mean, when the canal was finished, the land remained to be unfertile, and Mao's crazy idea to gain millions of kilometers of fertile land were all in vain. They were all pointless when it comes to the Yellow Earth Plateau. And there are many other reasons why the Great Leap Forward ultimately failed, it was also accompanied with destruction of historical monuments and with erection of this crazy new world that Mao envisioned. And here you can see one of these buildings, the Hall of the People, the Great Hall of the People, was erected out of the ruins of the old world, as Mao would say. And ultimately, the Great Leap Forward was a fiasco, unlike the Soviet program of development. And I would argue we actually should be glad that it was a fiasco, because Mao truly did want world domination, and he was ready to risk war with the Americans by attacking Japan and the Philippines. And in a bizarre way, this same craziness that motivated him to do it was the same thing that prevented him from doing it, because he truly did not understand how the economy works. In my opinion, Mao is a guy that spent 22 years of his life at war, and he simply forgot how economies under peace function. His mind simply remained at war, and unfortunately for the Chinese people, their nation remained at war with itself because of the Great Leap Forward and the other forms of destruction that existed under Maoism.